The Sengoku era began with the decline of the Muromachi Shogunate's power, which lost its ability to govern. In the absence of central control, regional warlords, known as daimyos, began to rise in power. During this period, Japan was effectively a land divided among many warlords, each seeking to expand their territories and strengthen their influence by waging wars against others. The Oda clan, based in Owari, modern-day Aichi Prefecture, where Nobunaga rose to power, was originally a small, local warlord family. When Nobunaga inherited leadership, Owari was surrounded by powerful forces. Nobunaga was the first to break free from the conventional norms of the time, implementing numerous revolutionary strategies and reforms. Nobunaga initially drew attention by valuing merit over loyalty, appointing capable retainers, and leading his troops with a rational approach. During this period, Nobunaga spearheaded a tactical revolution. For instance, he pioneered the use of firearms in warfare, making them a core weapon and developing new battle tactics that set him apart from other warlords. His rapid expansion was underpinned by his cold, calculated decisions and a spirit driven by innovation. This exploration will delve into how Nobunaga became a transformative figure of his time, examining his rise against the chaotic backdrop of the Sengoku era. Nobunaga's military innovations extended beyond weapons and tactics, sparking a revolution in his organizational methods and leadership philosophy. His proactive use of firearms epitomized this change. Recognizing their potential early on, Nobunaga organized gun battalions and implemented mass firing tactics with hundreds of gunners. His firearm strategies transformed Sengoku period warfare, the most famous example being his victory over Imagawa Yoshimoto at the Battle of Okahazama, where hundreds of firearms were used to secure a decisive win. Moreover, Nobunaga's reformist ideas spanned military, economic, and political realms. He actively protected commerce, supporting the growth of commercial cities like Kyoto and Osaka. By establishing free markets and allowing merchants to trade freely, Nobunaga facilitated economic growth. His strategic thinking was not limited to military might. He crafted a multifaceted strategy to survive and thrive in the Sengoku period. One of Nobunaga's standout achievements was his commitment to maintaining a trained, organized standing army. In contrast to the usual practice of temporarily gathering troops for battles, Nobunaga developed a powerful standing army that was always battle-ready, enabling him to respond quickly and dominate in conflicts. Nobunaga's suppression of Buddhist forces stands out as one of the more extreme aspects of his rule. His conflict with the Ikoiki sect was particularly intense, as he resolved to suppress their power with force. The burning of Mount Hai was an incident that epitomized his efforts to eliminate the political influence of Buddhist institutions. This event marked Nobunaga's role as an opponent of religion, illustrating his determination to curb the power of Buddhist forces. The background to Nobunaga's anti-Buddhist stance was not merely religious. Buddhist forces had significant political influence, often allying with daimyos to expand their power. Nobunaga, concerned by their influence on politics, opted to suppress them by force. His actions brought a major shift in the relationship between religion and politics in Japan. By repressing Buddhist forces, Nobunaga transformed religious institutions from mere places of worship into politically potent organizations. This shift was later inherited by figures like Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu, leaving a profound impact on Japanese society post-Sengoku. Nobunaga's personnel policies were highly innovative. He appointed capable individuals regardless of family background or lineage, advancing those who performed well while valuing loyalty. This meritocratic approach was a key factor in Nobunaga's military and political successes. Nobunaga particularly emphasized the importance of performance, regularly assessing the accomplishments of his retainers and rewarding them with land and titles based on their achievements. This rational approach to appointments challenged the feudal system, which traditionally valued lineage, by introducing merit-based promotion, ultimately influencing later daimyo systems and military organizations. The ideal of Tenkafubu, which Nobunaga promoted, represented his goal of unifying Japan by force, but it also held deep political meaning. His aim was a centralized government and a strengthening of the warrior class. The slogan Tenkafubu symbolized his vision for governance, illustrating his determination to end the Sengoku chaos and unify Japan. Nobunaga exerted his fullest capabilities not just as a warlord, but as a leader aspiring to rule the nation. He not only expanded his territories, but also reformed Japan's political structure and laid economic foundations. As a result, Nobunaga's legacy endures not merely as a Sengoku warlord, but as a visionary leader who actively sought to reshape history. Although Oda Nobunaga had established a powerful foundation, his life was abruptly cut short by the Hanoji incident. On June 2nd, 1582, Nobunaga took his own life after being betrayed by Akechi Mitsuhide. While the motives and circumstances surrounding Mitsuhide's betrayal remain shrouded in mystery, many complex factors influenced the relationship between Mitsuhide and Nobunaga. Some believe that Nobunaga's relentless pressure on his vassals and Mitsuhide's own convictions and ambitions contributed to the act, though historical evidence is sparse and theories continue to circulate among historians. Following Nobunaga's death, a power struggle ensued over who would succeed him. Nobunaga's close ally, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, was the first to act decisively to fill the power vacuum. Upon learning of Mitsuhide's rebellion, Hideyoshi swiftly ended his campaign in the Chugoku region and assumed the role of Nobunaga's successor. His rapid mobilization to protect Oda territory and his notable victory over Mitsuhide in the subsequent campaign solidified his reputation. Hideyoshi's strength was evident not only in his strategic decisiveness on the battlefield, but also in his adept political maneuvers afterward. He didn't merely step into Nobunaga's role, but implemented skillful tactics to restore stability and reorganize the state. After Nobunaga's death, Hideyoshi aimed to unify Japan, leveraging but also modifying Nobunaga's foundational principles. Hideyoshi's approach involved demanding both submission and loyalty from regional lords, using a blend of political and military pressure. One of Hideyoshi's first moves was to win over key retainers of Nobunaga's, such as Shibata Katsui and Tokugawa Kazumitsu, who had earned distinction under Nobunaga's rule. Instead of asserting power alone, Hideyoshi honored the rewards and status these retainers had received under Nobunaga, strengthening alliances with them and building a stable foundation of governance. He also employed the strategic hostage policy, wherein he held the families of rival lords as hostages to discourage rebellion and ensure loyalty, effectively consolidating his control over territories without extensive warfare. Through these calculated strategies, Hideyoshi persuaded numerous warlords to submit, laying the groundwork for unification. His tactical flexibility was evident in pivotal battles like those at Shizugutake and Yamazaki, where he not only utilized force but also critically analyzed each battlefield to devise optimal approaches for victory. Hideyoshi implemented significant political reforms, notably securing for himself the prestigious title of Kampuku, a senior position traditionally granted by the emperor. This title afforded Hideyoshi formal authority within Japan and further legitimized his rule, allowing him to consolidate political stability. He also introduced innovative policies. One of the most impactful was the sword hunt, which prohibited farmers from owning weapons, strengthening societal order by concentrating military power solely among the samurai class. Additionally, Hideyoshi conducted the Taiko land survey, to assess land ownership and agricultural productivity, which established a foundation for taxation. These reforms helped unify Japan in a peaceful manner and created a stable, structured society. Hideyoshi's sword hunt and subsequent social reforms transformed Japan's societal structure. While Nobunaga's achievements were not immediately fully inherited after his death, Hideyoshi followed in his footsteps, embodying Nobunaga's vision and advancing Japan's unification. Hideyoshi aimed to bring an end to the Warring States period by enacting significant social reforms, particularly through land redistribution and the strict management of farmers. His policies, including the Taiko Kenshi land survey, the sword hunt edict, and the restructuring of social classes, were essential in restoring order during a time of upheaval. Nobunaga and Hideyoshi also successfully reorganized the traditional bushi, warrior, class from top to bottom. In this process, the samurai redefined their roles and status, establishing a more ordered society throughout Japan. With Nobunaga's military system and Hideyoshi's political reforms working in tandem, the era of the Warring States was ultimately brought to a close, paving the way for a more stable period. The foundation of unification laid by Nobunaga and Hideyoshi eventually led to the peace and stability of the Edo period. After Nobunaga's death, the Warring States period saw temporary turmoil, but Hideyoshi's efforts brought about political stability. Following Hideyoshi's death, Tokugawa Ieyasu rose to prominence, managing to restore order after the subsequent chaos and establish his own rule. Ieyasu's ascendancy became decisive with the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, leading to the start of the Edo period. Under Ieyasu's governance, a peaceful era succeeded the Warring States period, culminating in the establishment of the Edo shogunate. By inheriting the legacies of Nobunaga and Hideyoshi, Ieyasu achieved unification of the warrior class and governance, ushering in approximately 260 years of peace during the Edo period. The social reforms, economic policies, and reorganization of the warrior class carried out by Nobunaga and Hideyoshi formed the backbone of the Edo shogunate, marking the end of the Warring States period and the beginning of a new era. Learning from the lessons of Nobunaga and Hideyoshi, Ieyasu prioritized internal stability over conflict, ultimately fostering a peaceful era. The Warring States period was an era of turmoil and upheaval for Japan, yet the many lessons from this period greatly influenced future generations. The rise of figures like Nobunaga and Hideyoshi was driven not only by personal ambition, but also by innovative thinking in response to the changes of their time.